Second. McCarthy. Second, Mr. Loy. Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. All right. Under unfinished business, we have two things, neither of which are really for tonight, but I'm just letting everyone know they'll remain on there for next time, which is the policy committee field trips after the third week in May. So that remains on our list when the policy committee comes back to us.
Committee taking a field trip.
Exactly, which they can't. The second one is the potential for transportation for UPK, which is, I know Mr. Colabufo is working on, and we'll look forward to a report back on that. And then for Pearl, if you can note, we're adding the Trap Club team discussion to unfinished business. And with that, I'll open it up to any board members, board member reports.
I'll start. So a couple of students and myself do have a concern that we wanted to bring up to the board, kind of talking along the lines of instructional planning. At the high school, we have 80-minute block periods, but we feel like that time isn't being adequately used. We have some courses and classes where we just do one worksheet for a full 80 minutes, and that's all we do. So we kind of see that as an issue. We don't feel like we're getting the time that we should to have differentiation and notes and quizzes and all the stuff that we should in that 80 minutes. So that's just a concern that we wanted to bring up to you guys.
Thank you. It's one, it's great for the feedback. And my question, Mr. Colabufo, so I know we have a committee. There's no board members on it, obviously, but are there student representatives on the committee?
There are not, but I think that's an excellent idea, is to have students sit in on that. I'll come back to that when I get to my update on probably more scheduling.
Okay. Perfect. Anything else, Reagan?
So Reagan, are you saying in general, the 80-minute block scheduling is not favorable? Is that or for some classes?
I don't want to say it's necessarily the 80-minute block scheduling itself. It's just the instructional use of that time.
That's a big clarification.
Yep, definitely. Anything else from board members? All right, so I have to, I'm just going to bring it back around. So we discussed earlier about does the board want to direct the policy committee to look at and make a recommendation for the use of phones and things related with phones on school buses? Where do we want that to fall? Do we want to have the policy committee look into it?
Yeah, we should take a look at it. I know there's a policy on cameras, how it relates to like student representation on the internet, and those kinds of things. How we have parents sign things saying their kid's photograph can be used. I'm not sure if it applies to students taking pictures of other students, but probably should look at that.
Any objections to that? To having the policy committee look into it and make a recommendation back to the board? All right. So Pearl, if you can note that, that's unfinished business. And again, no time frame, no expectations. We know there's a lot going on with policy right now. Just a couple quick things from my perspective. One, I think everyone on the board got the invitation. City BOCES, through our participation in that, is doing a tour of the Hudumaki plant on January 29th, I believe it is. It's a Monday evening. Happens to be a non-board meeting night, so we also do not have to stick to sub-quorum rules. So if all 9 of us wanted to go, we could do that because we're not discussing school policy. It's a tour, it's a workshop, so there's no problems with that, so anyone is welcome. And I think Pearl needs your RSVP. I don't know by the date, though. Okay, so through next Friday, if you're interested, just send Pearl a note, and that would be great. They do need to know because they have rules as far as how many employees based on the number of people that are touring. That's all I have for that. Anything else before I turn it over to Mr. Colabufo? All right. superintendent's report.
Elena Mascaro, senior at Paul V. Moore, performed on marimba? Okay. And earned a third-place scholarship cash award on January 3rd. 9 students from Central Square Middle School and 17 students from Paul V. Moore will be performing in the Oswego County Honors Band Festival, which will take place on January 13th in the Phoenix High School. Central Square Middle School, Elena Kernan Riley, Jordan Gravelding, Drusilla Biella, Danny Moran, Jason Porter, Ethan Moody, Abby Day, and Jaden Allen. From Paul V. Moore, Jillian Julian, Jessica Georges, Shelby Pappas. It's a bad word isn't here. I'm going to go with that one. Shelby Pappas, Isabella Ross, Matt Newton. Do you have glasses for me? Thank you. It's so embarrassing. That's perfect. Sarah Sorrell, Claire Ames, Mark Savage, Rachel Stringer, Lily Fitzgerald, Hannah Swalewski, Justin Howe, Cole Wilson, Jared King, Rihanna Freeborn, Elena Mascaro, and Kiera Sterling. The following students earn a seat in the All-County Honors Chorus Festival. Kaylee Galerno, Jessica Georges, Morgan Sawyer, J.C. Cook, Hannah Swalewski, Katie Friedenberg, Wyron M., Caleb Durant, Richie Williams, and Michael Haywood. Jamie Battaglia is a candidate for the 3-sport athlete at Central Square from News Channel 9. They will be interviewing him this weekend at the dual wrestling tournament. Central Square Indoor Track Indoor Track Jack Morris kickoff meet at the SRC Arena for boys. Central Square 2nd place, girls 5th place. And I just wanted to give a quick update on the Paul V. Moore scheduling. So just to give anybody that isn't aware of how this all went down, so it was last year around the spring it was decided that we wanted to give back 30 instructional minutes at the end of every day. So what we did was we said, okay, we're going to change that when we were having just the majority of our students were leaving at 2:07, and then after that was an optional time. In my time at Central Square, I had parents saying, look, Mr. Calbuffo, it's hard enough to get our kids to come into school, but then to make that last part optional when they really need help. So these were things that myself, cabinet, the principals, we looked at, and that was to gain back that instructional time. That instructional time was not taken away by the current high school principal. It was before he had come in, so that's not a reflection on the current principal of reducing that time, but he was totally in favor of gaining back instructional time. So we did do that. But with that being said, it was an actual MOA signed with the teachers union that basically said this will be for this year, this current schedule, and that Mr. King would be meeting regularly with the committee consisting of teachers, and that would be come to an agreement on what's the best schedule for 2018-19 and moving forward. So a couple options that were talked about last year was we have the 80-minute block. There are traditional 40-minute blocks called periods, but that could also be 45 minutes or 50 minutes. And then there was the idea of the hybrid, where there are some courses that could really be conducive for an 80 minutes, and then there are some that could be shorter, but every single day. So I just want to kind of put the rumor, because I had a really intelligent student come up to me today. I don't want to mention any names, but she's really intelligent. And she had asked me if we were going to go to 40 minutes. So I told this student what I had always said. We're doing a survey with students right now, and we're doing a survey with staff. And the bottom line, what it all comes down to is, do I truly believe in when this originally was asked of teachers last year, that yes, 80 minutes in the block, kind of done, as Reagan just said, if done appropriately and planned for that, is a really good use of time. The 80 minutes, you see them, there's less distraction, you get a lot of great stuff done. So I don't think it really is an issue of saying, is it 40 minutes or is it 80 minutes? I'm hearing what she said, but also several other students that have come down to talk to me over the past couple weeks, and I don't think it really is an issue of is it this or is it that. But again, the committee was charged for the schedule for next year, 18-19, is what is the best. Is it an 80-minute? Is it a 40-minute? Or is it a hybrid? And that's what we're working on. And when Mr. King is out right now, but when he comes back, he's going to be presenting on some different scenarios to the board. But again, I think first and foremost, I don't want teachers going into panic mode going, oh my God, they're getting rid of our 80-minute. That is not the case. We're just looking to see what can we do. And for some of it, it may be giving better support to teachers on the difference of planning for a traditional 40-minute period as to an 80-minute block every other day, which is a significant difference. There are some teachers who would say, I'm loving the 80-minute block, but it's really just to gather that information from not only students, but staff, take a look at that and go from there. But I just want all the teachers that are watching this when it gets put up in a couple days, I don't want them to think that, yes, we're moving to 40 minutes. I don't want them to think, yes, it's going to stay 80 minutes for everybody. We really want to look at this and what's best. That's all. And if it stays 80 minutes, what can we possibly do to make sure that the time is really being planned? Because it's very different. When I taught, it was traditional 40 minutes, and you see the kids every day. Again, we just want to make sure that this has been looked at and that we feel comfortable and that the teachers feel comfortable. That was my update. Okay.
Thank you. All right, with that, we're going to move on to action items. We have to take them separately, so I'm looking for a motion for item F1, the approval to recognize the formation of an extracurricular club, robotics club. Can I get that motion?
I will make that motion.
Mr. McCarthy, second. Mrs. Wood, any discussion? Other than I'm really excited for this club to start, so. All those in favor? It is unanimous.
And I'll make a motion to accept the approval of the first reading of proposed district policies, which are pest management and pesticide use, school food service program, lunch and breakfast, and wellness.
Before that's seconded, can I ask you to no, here's the thing I would want to I'm looking to pull one out for rethought before we do it. So I guess we can do the motion where we may have to
Second it.
Yeah, so I'll second your motion just so we can get to discussion.
Okay.
How's that? So discussion is this. On the third one, 5661, which is the wellness,
Yep.
I have a couple concerns and things with section D on page 5, and I know you probably don't all have it in front of you. But and I've already talked to our administrators about this, and again, it was this afternoon, so last minute. But there's just some wording that I think needs to be cleared up because the way it's written, it doesn't exclude physical education being withheld, and that's a state mandate. So I think as a board, we might be opening ourselves up for that. And then there's a section in there around classroom teachers being provided a list of alternative ideas, and I just think the board would want to see that list to ensure that what we're saying is going to happen will happen. So I would suggest that one, 5661, be pulled, sent back to the committee, and come back with the revisions before we can vote on it.
So I'd like to amend my motion.
Thank you.
To accept the approval of first reading of the pest management and pesticide use and school food service program, lunch and breakfast.
Great. So we have a motion for 5633 and 5660. I will second that amended motion. Any discussion?
Just put the wellness on the
Yep.
unfinished business.
Unfinished business. Yep.
So what are you saying is supposed to be mandated physical education?
Yeah, so the way it's worded right now, it leaves open to interpretation whether or not the actual physical education class could be withheld, because the way it's worded, it says during the school day, including but not limited to, and just in reading some other policies, that's caused issues in the past. So we would just want to exempt that. And I've already, I don't think it's any big deal. It's a slight rewording of that section.
Yeah, we can look at it. I mean, it's the first reading, right? So technically, do we even have to vote on it? I mean,
yeah, because if there's any changes, then it starts over again. It would be the next time it comes, it's the first reading of it with changes. Yeah.
Okay. So. Okay.
All right. No more discussion. All those in favor of accepting 5633 and 5660? It is unanimous. Consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve item G in its entirety?
I will make that motion.
Mr. McCarthy, second.
I'll second.
Ms. Wood. Any discussion? All those in favor? It's unanimous.
I will make a motion to accept H in its entirety.
Item H, instructional and non-instructional personnel. I will second that. Any discussion? All those in favor? And it is unanimous. We've already done our executive session. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Mr. McCarthy, second. Second. Mr. Loy, any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. Thank you all for coming.